G'day, that's Slot Car Guy here, and welcome back to another slot car review. And it is Scalextric's R34 GTR in the Pennzoil liveries turn. As always, let's do a review of the car, we'll do a tear down, and then we'll take this thing for a spin around the track. So stick around and let's review Scalextric's R34 GTR. So welcome back to another slot car review, and it is Godzilla's time, and I'm a little bit nervous and excited to run it because these R34s, or these Skylines in general, are becoming quite collectible and quite rare. And other than the scratching and the bad sort of casing, I guess you'll call it, the car looks immaculate. So I'm actually very nervous to come off on the track, but we're going to do it anyways. For those playing at home, it is the C2801 release. That's the reference number. And of course, I couldn't find a release date. The website I normally use finishes at 96, and it is very hard to find out other release dates while I struggle. So if you do know when this was released, let me know. But I believe it was mid-2000s. But nonetheless, a very collectible car, one for the JDM fans. If you do come across one of these, grab it. They're definitely collectible. I know I'm pushing for more JDM cars, but this is just a perfect example of what we should be still getting. And I know there's a lot of Skylines being made. I think Slotted did one. Sideways, I think, did one as well. So there is companies doing Skylines, but let's call this the OG because it is such a beautiful slot car. But as always, let's tear it down first. We'll see how it runs. They're very basic. It's a very basic car. And then let's see if I can get this thing around the track. I'm going to say it's going to be the quickest car on the board. I'm just going to guess. And I'm not a fanboy. I'm not going to try and go faster than normal. But I do think this might go okay. So let's tear it down and then let's try not to smash it. All right, let's go. Alrighty, so before we get into the teardown, I'll move the Skyline and let's have a quick look at the packaging. And I will not take too much time on this because if you have purchased the Scalextric's car in the last 10 or so years, it's going to be very familiar. The main things that have changed is the colouring of the base and the rear card. Now, depending on what car they do, if it's a Golf special, they may do the base a different colour, the Golf colours, and they may do a special card in the rear. That's really all that's changed. I don't know if there's much on the shape that's been done. Let me know in the comments. But if it works, why do you change it? Across the front here, we've got the branding or the naming of the car. And around the back, a heap of information. But the main thing you need to know is underneath, you normally get, when you buy it brand new, 2 replacement guide / braid combos, but this sticker, and I just noticed that when I was doing the review, has got the reference number plus 2607. So is that the release date? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Probably completely wrong, but if that's the release date, well, I don't know. You let me know. There it is, the Harrell RS slot car track. This looks incredible. Absolutely love it. Now I have already separated the chassis and the shell, and it took 6 screws. It took 4 of these longer screws and then 2 of these little grub screws which are in the center, and I'll show you the location when we get into the teardown. Before we get into the teardown, let's look at the livery. Now this is old technology slot car. What I mean by that is it is very basic, but I think it still looks incredible. It's got the iconic Pennzoil livery, yellow, white and black with the Zexel writing branding. I love that. I think that's the GTR LM bonnet, I think. Hit me in the comments, or it might be the GTR LM bonnet with the scoop cutouts. They're proper aero cutouts, so it's pretty cool that a slot car of this age has got some aero cutouts. Back to the front again, let's have a quick look at that. Love it. Nice big splitter at the front, some little flash-off diffusers or air deflectors or whatever the technical term may be. Let's go driver's side. He's wearing a nice blue fire suit with a painted silver, it looks silver like a silver helmet to me, and dark blue gloves. Nice size model in there. I think he's he's definitely a full size model with the harness painted on. The interior is complete, but it's black. It's a blacked out interior. Nice big Bridgestone down the side. And I've just noticed that I'm showing you guys, there's a nice Tamiya branding. Now hit the comments. Was this a joint enterprise with Tamiya? Did they own this mold at the time? I don't know. Let me know. I'm sure it says Tamiya. Yeah, it does. It definitely does say Tamiya. So there you go. So if you know why that's there, let me know. I'm guessing they own that mold at the time of release. I don't know. Around to the rear, the iconic hot plate rear taillights. you can always tell that you're behind a Skyline, whether it's an R32, an R33, an R34, and now an R35, because of the iconic hot plate style tail lights. Really, really cool. Big Pennzoil rear spoiler, and again the decals, I don't know, they look to be maybe stick-ons. I don't know. You can see an edge to them, so they might have been stick-ons. I don't think they're printed. Dave, if you're watching, let me know, mate. I'm not sure about these. And then of course the rims themselves blacked out with the Patanza Bridgestone stickies, and then you've got, if I can get some shine, some brake discs which have been cross drilled. Really cool for a car of that era. Really cool detail. Now let's take away the shell and chassis. I'll remove that first. Now I did, when I was doing the teardown, there is a massive one, and I'll quickly show you if I can pick it up. There is a windscreen wiper that pops in dead center. So there's one windscreen wiper on the front of this car, and it did come off when I was literally taking it apart. Upside down, we do have, or we can't see it yet, but I believe we do have active lights running. Well, let's have a quick look inside. There's his legs. I love that. Watch out. There's his legs. So he is definitely a full-size figure, but that's hilarious. But there you go. That's the inside of the GTR. Now let's look at the business end. Now I think they are running plastic rims on this. They don't feel like metal, definitely plastic. Now this is second hand, so I don't know what's been modified in here. It still appears to have the Sidewinder standard scalextric motor. There's your active lights. Are they LEDs? I think the rears might be LEDs. Yeah, I think they're all LEDs. I don't know. I'm not a electrician, but you'd let me know. But they've definitely got front and rear active lights. Rear wheel drive, driven from the left hand side. Looks like plastic gearing. I don't know what tooth gear and pinion they're running, but it is basic. And then we've got a bar magnet, which is quite old. I think that's starting to die on me, in front of the motor. Again, this isn't brand new. I think it'd be very hard to find one untouched, but very basic, very thin. And what's the flex like? I don't really want to do much. Oh, there's a little bit of play, but there you go. Very basic slot car. I don't think these are DPR ready. Well, it wouldn't have been digital back then, I don't believe. But I've just noticed there's another bar magnet section you can put, so you can remove that and then place the bar magnet up higher. And I'll give you a closer look at that right next to the sticker. So there we go. Very basic, but oh, upside down. Sorry. Very basic underneath, black. Very small guide, and yes, it is scalextric. So I don't know how that's going to go on the Carrera track. A lot of my scalextric cars absolutely fly, but very basic underneath. And there's your 6 screws. You got two big ones here, 2 small ones in the center, and I think you had another 2 at the rear. Very easy teardown. So there you go. Basic, collectible, fast. Well, let's find out. The tyres, they look to be very old, but I'm still confident that this might do a good time. So let's take this thing for a hot lap and see if I can post a fast time. How did the GTR by scalextric go around my track? It's actually pretty good. The tyres on these should not be on this car. They are absolutely woeful. They're used, they're secondhand, they're rubbered in, whatever you want to call them. They're done, they're shot. And I still got an 1156. So let's jump over to the board. Unfortunately, it's not the quickest. The G-Slot NSX is still up there. Brand new car out of the box. But 1156, pretty surprised. Those tyres should not be on any car. and it still went really well. Of course, change the tyres, change the guide, you know, bigger braid, whatever you want to do to the car, of course it will perform, but pretty impressed. My only concern is, and she's right behind me, is the sulky red going to be the GTR killer? I don't know. I'll find out in a couple of days' time. I'm scared. But do I recommend one of these? Yes, I do. They're quite collectible. It's an old version of a JDM car that Slot Cars released. Yes, we're getting some newer stuff, but this is definitely a classic. So if you find one, grab one. There's a couple of different livery choices if you can find them, but definitely for a collector, you must have one of these. So really, really cool car. As always, at that Slot Car Guy on Instagram, please jump on there, give me a follow. Happy to chat on there. I've been chatting for the last week now with followers. It's been really, really cool. YouTube, I think I'm up over 800 subs now, so thank you everyone who's thrown support my way, and I will be able to live stream soon, which is a really cool function to have on YouTube. So guys, be safe, take care, thanks for watching, ciao.